Yes, let me tell you the story. Let's go ahead and tell you. Um, let's tell you the story about one time. My mom was gonna get her hair done, right? And she went to the hairdresser, right? And she sat down, and they took off her wig, and they proceeded to do her hair, right? And when she was done, right, she went home, and then she remembered that she forgot her wig, right? It was expensive wig, that's why. It was very much money. Anyway, it was so she forgot to pick it up, right? Because the lady put it on the table, so she can get it later. Good times, right? Because it was funny and it was a good time. So let's start with my mom's. So she went to the hairdresser, right? So they can do her hair, right? And they took off her wig to proceed to do her hair, right? And then when she was done, she looked in the mirror and said she liked her hair, right? And she left, right? And she forgot her wig, right? And it was an expensive wig, right? And she went home, and then she just remembered that her wig was not in her purse, right? So she told me to go get her wig. Oh, before that happened, my sister and my mom went to the hairdresser. So yeah. Anywho, let's get back to the store. So she told me and my sister to go get it, and my sister was like, we pulled up to the place, and then I was like, it was look. I don't know if it looked sketchy. It was in a plaza. I didn't really think too much in a plaza, being a hairdresser, you know. So we went in. Before we went inside, my sister's like, if you don't see her, then I will maybe see her. I'm not too sure. So she was like, I was like, I don't know what the lady looked like who did her hair, right? My mom here, right? So she was like, you would know when you see her. I was like, what that supposed to mean? I told my sister. She was like, you know when someone bleach their skin and it's like you can see that they really bleached their skin. I was like, yeah. So she was like, yeah, that's what the lady looked like. She looked like a bleach colored, it was like a palish white color, but like a brownish color. So I was like, okay, then I will know what that looked like, right? So we went in, right? We was looking around, seeing if we found her, right? And I guess my sister didn't see her. And then as I looked up, I saw her. I was like, is that her? She's like, yeah, that's her. I was like, wow. She really bleached her skin so bad that you can know that she bleached her skin. Because you know, like a natural brown skinned person is like, is like, it looks like is actually that's the real color. And when you see like a bleached skinned person that looks like it almost like flour but like a palest color. So that's what she looked like, right? A pale-ish brownish color. I don't know what kind of color that was. But anywho, oh, let's tell you another story. The one time I was like in middle school, right? And I didn't really know nothing about being people who was racist, right? So I was in middle school. We did like we did like normal stuff in middle school, right? You go to a class, you go to PE, you go to arts or social studies, math, science, reading. The kid who was being racist to me and my sister, he was on our bus as well. So when I tell you that other part with when he's on our bus, then you'll know why. So we went into it was like 6 hour, right? And me and my sister had PE together, right? And we went we went to go change our clothes first, and then we went to go sit down because we had like a assigned seat, right? And me and my sister was right close to each other. She was right here and I was right here, right? Because her name was on the alphabets, her name is first and then mine's. So we try to sit down there, but we sat down there like almost every day, right? Because that was our number and that was our assigned seat, right? And this kid who was a different color than me, and every time we went to PE, right, he always steal our seats, right? And it was assigned seats. I don't know why you keep trying to steal our seats. And I was trying to get into my seat, right? And I was telling him to move, and right now, all right. And he was like, just give me an attitude and say, you could sit over there, and just being mean and whatnot. And then he said it like a racist term, right? And at that time, I didn't know about racism and whatnot and stuff like that. So I was just thinking that he was just bullying me, right? Me and my sister, right? And so it was the next day, right? And we was proceeding to go in our seats, right? And he was there talking to his friend. He's like, "Oh, it's gonna be a minute," and the teacher was coming to like do attendance, right? And we're supposed to be in our seats, or we'd be marked absent, right? So we told him that we told the teacher that he was in our seat, right? And to tell him to move, right? And he moved, and then he was just being that kind of douche, you know, being racist, that douche of a douche. It was a douche racist, right? That's what I'm gonna call him. Anywho, and then that day was done, and then we had to go on the bus, right? Bear in mind, we still have his bus, so we in the same bus. So to go home, right? And he was still doing his little racist terms and whatnot, and I was not trying to hear that at that point. And then the next day we was going back to PE, right? And it was like I don't know if it was like a hurricane type thing, and somehow the power in the PE place, we call it PE, or we could call it like gymnasium or whatever. That's what we call it back then. And the lights turned off, right? And the kids were still playing. And when the lights turned, I guess he hit his head on one of the walls, right? And then when the lights turned back on, he was just in a pool of blood. I'm sorry for the language, but I was happy as hell. So I was like, karma was gonna get you somehow, but I guess he got you this way. I really wanted you to get hit by a bus or something like that, but that could work too, you know. And then the ambulance came, and then they took him away, and yeah, I guess that was the ending of that racist part. What else happened? Oh yeah, let me tell you this other story. What happened? Like, I think it was yesterday. Um, I noticed someone was following me, and as I looked up, it was the police, right? And I'm passing, I was going past the street, right? And I noticed the police was behind me, right? And I was like, why is he behind me? But I didn't really care why he was behind me. Then I was like thinking, oh, I must be like speeding, because I was on like the speed limit was like 45, and I was going like 48 or so. No, it was not 48, because I was been far from the speed limit. I was on 40. I think it was 46, because it was two thing nears, or it was 48. I can't remember. But I was like, oh man, he's gonna stop me for just going so fast, you know. But then I was like, nah, he gonna pull me over that for like only two more like speed that was like two more like over like the speed limit, right? So I was like, nah, he ain't gonna pull me over for that. And then I remember, oh yeah, the backlights, one of the backlights don't really work, right? And I was like, oh no, he's gonna pull me over for that. So I was like, ah damn. Regardless, I'm screwed. I'm going to jail. I'm gonna get a ticket. Oh my god, I never got a ticket in my life. Yeah, I never got a ticket in my life. And so he went right beside me, right? And then he did that little, you know, that little thing there with that wee woo, whatever shit. And then he's like, wind down the window. I was like, oh snap, am I gonna get a ticket? And he's right beside me. So I was like, I was not scared of anything. I was not panicking or anything. Usually I'm really panicking and whatnot. And I get scared really quickly nowadays. And so I ran down the window and he was like, did you know that your license plate is I think it was 3 days old, or I think it was 3 days old, right? And I was like, no, I didn't know that. And he was, bear in mind, he's right beside me, right? And I was like, no, I didn't know that. He's like, you know, you can get pulled over for like having a license plate but it's way due off the date it's supposed to be or something like that. And I was like, no, I didn't know. He's like, you can face like criminal time and stuff like that. I was like, okay, I'll make my mom know that it was way off or it needs to be renewed, right? So he was like, okay, I'm not gonna stop you for today. And I was like, a relief, because another ticket would be my ass. And I'm like, how the hell am I gonna pay for that shit? But I know I was not gonna pay for it. I know my mom was gonna pay for it. But anywho, so he drove off, and I was going to still pick up my sister. At that time, I was picking up my sister at like two. It was at that time when he pulled me over. It was like 2:21 p.m. and it was April 10th. That was yesterday, I think. And so yeah, and I was still proceeding to go pick up my sister, right? And um, what else happened? Oh yeah, and then as he was leaving, I quickly told my mom that I was trying to prank her and tell her that I actually did got pulled over, but I did got pulled over, but I didn't get a ticket type of thing. So um so I told her, hey man, did you know that the light before this even happened with me getting almost a ticket, right? She was like, oh, if anybody stop you, here's the license plates and here's the what's it called and whatever. This is where it is, and if they pull you over, give it to them. I knew it was like a sign, I guess, that something was gonna happen, but I didn't know what was gonna happen. And yeah, and then I was telling her how I got pulled over by the cops, right? And she was like, "Oh my god, what you did?" I was like, "I ain't do nothing." And she was like, "What you got pulled over for?" And I was like, "Did you know that the license plate is way due? You need to be renewed and stuff like that." She was like, "Oh, I didn't even know that. I guess when you come home, then I'll renew the license or go to the dealership and renew the license, right?" And I was like, she's like, "Oh, did you pick up the other girl, the last sister I have?" And I was like, "No, I was on my way." She was like, "Yeah, I guess." She's like, "Oh, if anybody else pull you over that you're on it, you're gonna change the license plate or whatnot." And I was like, "Okay." And then after that she hanged up the phone, and then I proceeded going to the school, right? And I picked her up, my sister, and I told her that I almost got a ticket. She was like, "Why you almost got a ticket for?" I was like, "Because of the license plate needs to be renewed." But the guy was actually nice to me, so he didn't pull me over and gave me that damn ticket in my butt. I was like, "Oh, thank you, Jesus." Anywho, she was like, and then I was telling her that Mueller said if I do get pulled over one more time, that I'll say that I'm on the top, I'm on the part that I was gonna change my license plate. And she was like, "That is stupid. Don't tell them that shit because since they already gave you a warning, they're gonna say you already got a warning, so you're gonna get that ticket, though." I was like, "Oh snap!" Then I'm gonna tell them that, "Oh, I didn't know and whatnot." She was like, "Yeah, that's what you should do." So I was like, "Okay, that's if we get pulled over a second time." So that happened, and I guess that was the ending of that story. Let's see if I have any more stories in mind. This thing is actually going on 13. It's gonna be like 14 minutes. Oh, I forgot to do the intro. I'll put the other intro in right now. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. And if you like the video, like it. If you don't, write it in the description and tell me why you didn't like the video. I won't get mad. Maybe it will make me improve my videos. Who knows? Bye.